President Bola Tinubu is set to conduct census and moves to set up a committee to make that happen for the first time since 2006. And Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa of Ondo State takes oath of office for our first full 4-year term. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Census television. I am Sean Akimbaloye here in Abuja. Let's begin by letting you know that now it looks so all set that Nigeria is set for a census since the last one conducted in 2006. And President Tinubu appears ready to kick off plans for another round. This time, Nigeria will be conducting a new national population and housing census with biometric and digital components. President Bola Tinubu at a meeting at the State House today with officials of the National Population Commission, NPC, says it would set up a committee to align the census budget to the government's present financial realities. It says the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, must be part of the review. But now, the controversial tax reform bill's debate has begun for the public hearing in the Senate, and the first session held today in Abuja, and several speakers spoke today over the importance of that bill and what it means for the Nigerian economy. So the National Assembly members chaired the conference where speakers from across sectors, from government and committees of the Tax Reform Committee, headed by Aiyedatiwa, Minister of Finance, FRS, Chairman, NNPC, GMD, and everyone that has a role to play within that sector was present. Let me allow you to listen to what the Senate President said.
I'm tired of social media discussion on tax. I want to stay with you for 2 days. Let us discuss. So I call on all and sundry and all Nigerians who have issues with the bills. Read the bills before you comment. Even some of our leaders never opened a page of these bills submitted to the National Assembly before they started running television to condemn. So please, if you don't have copies, ask the chairman to give you copies. Since it's a 2-day event, use today to listen to other people. Don't jump up to contribute based on social media discussions. Go and read first. When we meet again tomorrow, you come and make your contribution, and it's also online. You can download, go through it. The area you don't want, please tell us. For me, I will not run the Nigerian Senate on the pages on the basis of what they write on social media.
All stakeholders, businesses, tax corporations, civil society organizations, and the general public to actively contribute to today's discussion. Your insights and recommendations are vital in shaping a tax regime that works for all Nigerians. I urge all participants to engage constructively, offering insights and recommendations that will allow the final bills into laws that work for everyone.
So you heard some of the senators, the Senate President and the Chairman Senate Committee on Finance speaking there, Senator Akpabio and Senator Musa. But there are other speakers there, including the GMD of NNPC. Let me allow you to listen to their own contributions on the floor of that public hearing.
In short submission, I would like to reiterate Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission is in support of the reforms because it will increase revenue to the Federation. And
one after the other as lawyers, look at those sections of the entire 4 bills, and we have recommended what we want and suggested areas that can be looked into, taken off, included. We have done all of that. So we adopt them as submitted. Thank you very much.
There is need now for this all-important reform as part of Mr. President's economic agenda. It's a bold step, another bold step, because we are witness to the reforms that have been made over the last 20 months or so, the macroeconomic reforms, and we can all see the progress that has been made, the success that we are witnessing in terms of the economy growing, the reserves growing, inflation stabilizing, and the budget deficit coming under control.
Around what is reasonable and what is necessary. This law has taken care of it. Sometimes it's very difficult to determine whatever you do is necessary doing for this, and this law has taken care of this, and this has been a matter of contention always between FRS and ourselves, and including our other partners. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, royalties incurred and royalty paid. This has always been taken care of by the law, and we believe that this will bring in clarity and the books of companies that operate in this our industry, and they will surely now become a matter of reconciliation after the 13th one, which is very understandable in all industries across the globe.
Definitely one debate that a lot of Nigerians need to watch closely. This is perhaps the first phase. We'll see another one tomorrow. Then, I'm hoping that another public hearing may happen in the House of Representatives. But this is a point where Nigerians and those who are in the public need to now contribute into the bill. After it's passed, it's all done. So, Governor Dr. Aiyedatiwa will be speaking with Channels Television exclusively tonight, being a first day in office after taking oath of office. He's standing by for us in Akure, and he will be joining us just in a moment. But before we get to speak with His Excellency, Governor of Ondo State, let's take a look at some of your political roundup stories.
The Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, has reaffirmed the commitment of President Bola Tinubu's government in enhancing the institutional capacity of the Nigerian police force to deliver its mandate. He stated this at the opening of the conference and retreat for senior police officers in Abeokuta, Ogun State, where he emphasized the need for interagency collaboration to tackle insecurity in the country. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned the money laundering case instituted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission against the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, to March the 6th and 7th, 2025, for continuation of trial. The court adjourned after the prosecution counsel called his two witnesses. After the cross-examination of the two witnesses, the prosecution then told the court that they had another witness to call on subpoena. Justice Emeka Nwite then adjourned till March the 6th and 7th, 2025, for continuation of trial. In Rivers State, 5 federal lawmakers from the state who are in support of Governor Siminalayi Fubara have called on the state lawmakers led by Martin Amewule to stop parading themselves as members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. The lawmakers stated this when they paid a solidarity visit to the Victor Okojombo-led assembly in Port Harcourt. Speaking on behalf of the caucus, Honorable Abiante notes that the lawmakers, under Victor Okojombo's leadership, have the authority to conduct legislative business until INEC fills the vacant seats. The governor of Edo State, Mondo Okpebholo, has assured residents of the state outside Benin City, the state capital, that he will ensure the quality of infrastructure, including roads that his administration is providing, are of top quality. Governor Okpebholo disclosed this in a chat with journalists during his inspection of works on the 36-kilometer Utako Unewa Ewura Uromi Road in Edo Central Senatorial District. The Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno has inaugurated a new 27-man cabinet to further his administration's blueprint with a charge for hard work, collaboration and unity of purpose towards adequate interpretation and actualization of the Arise agenda. The 27-man Executive Council, comprising commissioners and special advisors, including 4 women and 23 men, 9 of which are making a return to the cabinet, while 18 are fresh members. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, the Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, is asking women to remain resilient in their support of President Bola Tinubu's administration. Speaking in Abuja at a meeting organized by the Arua Women Forum for Tinubu, Musawa challenged women to continue to promote unity, peace and good leadership, in addition to building on values that will strengthen good governance and strong democratic values. Meanwhile, a civil society organization under the aegis of Coalition of Patriotic Youth Leaders wants Nigerian youth to consider taking elective positions so as to drive home the youth agenda at all levels of governance in the country. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, spokesperson of the group, Mr. Ariki Mwaju, says there is need for young people with their numerical strength to take advantage of their numbers and upset the political equation come 2027. They appealed to the National Assembly to expedite action on the amendment of the Electoral Act to address the grey areas in the last general elections.
We stand at such a defining moment where the call for political leaders in the mode of the biblical Joshua has become not only necessary but urgent.
Thank you so much. There you have it. You've been served with your political roundup stories. So today we saw Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa being inaugurated as the governor of Ondo State, marking the beginning of his very first full 4-year term after replacing Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who died in office in 2023. The ceremony took place earlier today at the Ondo State Sports Complex in Akure, and 2 months after he won the governorship election on the platform of the APC. Governor Aiyedatiwa took his oath of office just after his running mate, Mr. Olaide Adelami, around noon today. The governor thereafter rode in an open van around the complex, waving to cheers from supporters. I'm now being joined by Governor Lucky Oremisan Aiyedatiwa, who is live for us in Akure. Your Excellency, thank you so much indeed for joining us. And perhaps congratulations might be in order on your inauguration today. Let me begin by asking you, perhaps the way you feel tonight, not the first time you're taking oath of office, not the first time you're seeing an inauguration. You've seen that happen as a deputy governor. Now you're getting the fanfare and all of the paraphernalia that is necessary for a governor in a full inauguration ceremony that we saw today. But it then means something, that a lot of burden will be on your shoulder, and the skies are open, the heavens are open upon your head, that you must now deliver for the people of Ondo State. Does that dawn on you today that, in fact, more pressure will be on your head? Do you feel that pressure?
Thank you, Seun, for the good wishes by congratulating me on a brand new assumption of office, we like, if I can put it that way. A new mandate as I got sworn in today to start a fresh tenure of 4 years. Like you rightly said, this is not the first time I'll be taking be going through this kind of occasion. In 2021, I was sworn in as deputy governor, and today as governor. There are 2 different experiences, really, like you rightly observed. The first time I have a principal that is standing in the front and I'm following by this, maybe behind him or by the side, if you like. But today, I'm the man of the moment. I'm the one standing, you know, in front, and the heaven is open over me and the whole burden is upon my shoulder. But I want to tell you that, yes, it might look that way literally, that I carry the whole burden, but I have learned to even share the burden, you know, with my running mate, because he's also going to be part of the government, and other qualified appointees that will be made in the course of the month or year. I don't know how many months it will take, but like just today, I've appointed 8 of them. You know, got a new SSG. Don't forget that I lost my SSG last year, and I've just appointed a new one today. I think the announcement has gone out, and 2 other commissions being reaffirmed, and some special advisors has also been appointed. So we all carry this burden together. Although I was the one that campaigned with my deputy that went around to make promises of what we're going to do for our people. But yes, I also learned to share the burden with the one who sent me. After all, he said the government upon his shoulder. I'm talking about Jesus Christ. So he will lead, he will give wisdom, understanding, counsel, and might on how to navigate. So it's not the same like being deputy, yes, but I know there is so much that is being expected of me and my administration at this time, even considering the kind of votes that we got during the election, a record-broken election where the entire 18 local government voted for us, the type that has never happened in the history of election, governorship election in Ondo State before now. And also the figure, the total figure that we got, 366,000 plus, that has never been gotten by any governor. So much has been given to us, and I believe much is being expected, but we are equal to the task because we are here to work, to serve the people. And God helping us, that we will do.
I mean, how does it also feel? It does look like you have family also, because I saw with the deputy governor, himself and the family, yourself. I saw also that you are with family. How much of that kind of support is important for you?
Well, it depends on what you mean. The support is always there. Don't forget, we are the one on the saddle, and the stability is there. There's no problem, and yes, we have the stability from our home, and the support is always there. But the support of the people is also very important. It's even much more, because the people, they were the one that gave us the mandate, the people of Ondo State. So we need their support at all time. Citizens' participation, very important. And that will come not just from our immediate family, but from the people. So all the supports are important. Family, followers, electors, the people, every stakeholders, their support is important. So it's not just from one side.
Mm. And you know what I meant, without having to speak with all sides of the mouth. Your opposition criticized you heavily about things that went on the home front when you were on the campaign trail. But today, you were not alone when you emerged today. So that was what you had a support behind you. They said behind every successful man is a woman. And it does look like that played out today.
Well, that is an adage, but I can tell you also that during campaign, yes, I was there out with my deputy and all our supporters. But don't forget, just like while you are there now at the studio, your wife is not there with you. Is she there with you? No, you're at work. So I see that as being at work. And you don't take your wife to your place of work. At the time we were running on the street, campaigning, she's back home there, probably praying for us. But today is a ceremonial occasion and she was there. So I don't understand what you really mean by that. But when you're at work and you're in work front, you don't take your wife to work front anyway. And you know the election in this part of the world is like you're going to war. So no soldier takes his wife to the war front. They stay back at home praying and doing other things. But when it comes after the war, and after the war and the ceremony comes, then they will show up. And then that's what you've seen today.
Mm. It's interesting that happened today, but that was a major campaign attack on your person. But that on the side, Governor.
Even though, yes, major campaign attack, but the people voted for me. Hermans, and what do you take of that? Take out of that?
No, I'm saying that your opposition
that
used
no
it.
Governor has ever gotten.
Yeah, I was saying that so your opposition used the home front issues against you at a campaign. So it was important that that was highlighted so that at least you can speak on it. And since you've clarified, that's important. But let's get to the issue of governance. Now, for me, it's important for the people of Ondo State tonight to know where Lucky Aiyedatiwa stands today. It's going to be a renewed vigor, isn't it? A renewed energy, if one wants to describe it as such. But how would you summarize the race for you for the next 4 years? What should be the expectations of the people of Ondo State going into this 4-year race?
Yeah, like I said earlier on, let me just quickly say that this, even though during the campaign, I just want to put this record straight, even though during the campaign, opposition were using all kinds of statements, using the home front, but, family is a private affair. And what they don't know is what they are saying. You know that there's always all kinds of falsehood, in politics, all kinds of insinuation and assumptions. So I have my own fair share of it by those who do not really know me and my home too well. So, but the people of Ondo State, they know me, they know what I stand for. And they came out en masse to vote for me. So they don't even look at that because they know the truth. And they have demonstrated their love and support through the ballot. So having said that, considering the amount of votes that was given and the kind of expectation the people are expecting, yes, we cannot but, I'm my deputy and my government, at the end of the day when it's fully formed, they are expecting much from us and we are ready to give that. Expectation is high, yes, no doubt about that. But they know what we can do already. Haven't been there for about 14 months. They have seen the strides we have made in every sector of the economy. Is it in agri? Is it in education, healthcare delivery, and all of that? So they know what we can do. So we are not new to the people. Like I told them during the campaign, they should be expecting, we are just going to improve on all that we have started. We are going to improve on that because, like I always say, that record can always be broken, either by a new entrant or the man who set the first record. We have some records and we are going to improve on that and maybe break new records if you like. So we are ready to work with a renewed vigor. They have given us a new mandate for 4 years. God helping us, we will try our best and deliver all our campaign promises to the people.
If there's one thing your predecessor and your former principal, the late Akeredolu, did, was his stance on the issue of security. It took the matter of Amotekun almost personal. Based on the threats that Ondo State got in the bushes, in the forest, and in part of the interior of Ondo State, he stood up for one thing, that he wants to take charge of the security situation in the state. And we saw how he supported Amotekun to thrive. And recently, it does look like those activities of bandits and those terrible elements are already also emerging. And there are reports of how Amotekun has paraded suspects in Ondo. We saw what those attackers did in Owo at a church some years back. We saw the story about Amotekun sending back about 114 non-indigens out of the state, and several other stories as that. It does look like there is a renewed rising threat in the forests and the interiors of Ondo State. In your own time, how much of Amotekun support are you giving to Amotekun? And in some of these new threats that are rising in Ondo State, how are you going to tackle them?
I've lost signal. Can't hear you.
All right, just hold on for a moment. Our engineers will fix that for you. So let's just take a moment, and when we will come back from this break, we'll fix the audio issues, and we'll be back with Governor Aiyedatiwa. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Apologies for the audio glitch there. The governor of Ondo State, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, is still with us. Governor, apologies there. Before we went on that break, I was asking about the activities of Amotekun and some of the activities of some of these criminal elements in the bush. And we've seen a lot of reports, some relating to how Amotekun has sent back some over 100 non-indigents out of the state, and how they paraded some suspects. And I made reference to how your predecessor and your former principal, Governor Akeredolu, gave a lot of support for Amotekun Corps. How much of the support are you going to be giving Amotekun? Are you upgrading them to be able to handle some of the internal security issues in the state? What exactly will be your focus, and how are you taming security issues in the state as we're seeing them happen?
Thank you, Sheol. Amotekun Corps is on ground. I can tell you that, and it has come to stay. And in fact, it is a model for state policing. And because of the performance of Amotekun, and the issue of state policing is now, being discussed among all the other states, even at the federal level, where all the states government were asked to present a memo either in favor or against the state policing. And I can tell you that almost all the 36 states, 35 thereabout, are in support of state policing because of the activities of Amotekun and the achievement we have been able to achieve. Now, we cannot do away with security architecture like Amotekun. We have to keep them. We have to support them squarely. And that support they are getting from this administration. Don't forget that I've been here now for about 14 months, and Amotekun is being funded, it's being supported. All we just need is a continuous service improvement, because we cannot rest on our hours, because the criminals every day, they devise new method of attacking, coming to disguising as if they are hunters, load themselves in trailers with some dogs, and think they want to go and hunt. How can you leave such from the up and out that you say you're coming to the southwest to hunt? Is there no forest or bush in the other area where you can hunt? So we try to profile all of these people when we see them. Once they fail, during profiling, once they cannot really defend their mission in our area, we tend to send them back, because you can't be coming to a place without knowing anybody, no address of where you want to go to, no individual or family member you want to go and see. You are just saying you are coming to hunt, go into our forest. And that is where they perpetrate all these evil and criminal activities. So that is what you see happening. Amotekun is very vigilant, and we will not allow miscreant disguising to coming for some legitimate venture when we know that they are coming, under a guise to commit some criminal activities. That is what you see happening. So we are supporting Amotekun very well, and we will continue to support them. We also continue to train them and to be more vigilant. All that they need now is equipment to further enhance their performance. And yes, once in a while, we see all these criminals, having a caution once in a while. Kidnapping is not totally rid of the system. Once in a while, we still experience such, but we go after them, and we have been having successes in our pursuit of all of these cause. And I think Amotekun is doing very well. Not just only Amotekun, I must say this, is in collaboration with other conventional security agencies. The other day, Amotekun with the military, the army, they have to go into forest to comb the forest. And this is something we need to be doing regularly, because this is where all these criminals, this is where they hide, in our forest. So periodic combing is very important, Amotekun and other security agencies.
So no longer will you allow people to go into the forest in Ondo State. It's a no-go area to strangers or so-called aliens. That is going to stop. Is that what your government is saying?
No, it's not as if, yes, there are some forests, some area that that you don't go to really, but it's not as if we are stopping people from going to our forest. After all, there are resources in the forest. If you are going there for legitimate business, yes, why not? We profile you when you are coming to our territory. The kind of movement that we've noticed in some time past, where individuals will be loaded in trailer, in a truck, almost 150 individuals. Where are they coming from? Where are they going? What business are they going to do? With some with bikes, with motorbikes, they want to come and be doing a kind of business. And we begin to profile that you must have an address of where you want to go and stay. You can't go and be staying under the bridge or go and hide inside the forest. And then the next day you turn to a kidnapper to kidnap people and take them to the forest. So we are really securing our forest. We want to know who are there, whether we have some farmers there who are farming genuinely or genuine local hunters, because you can only hunt in the forest. So it's not as if the forest is totally closed up. Yes, but we need to know the activities in our forest, and we place close monitoring on that.
Let me quickly ask you, I know that you had meetings with your colleague governors in the Southwest, and you are talking about regional integration and collaboration. But I mean, one knows that Ondo State historically relies on agriculture and oil, but in what specific area? And the people of Ondo State will be wondering what Ondo will be known for under Aiyedatiwa. In what area would you like to establish Ondo State, not only for the local economy, but also for export? Years past, Ondo State is significant. There are cocoa production in Ondo State. What has become of that? Olua Glass and several other companies were renowned for their participation to the economy in years past. But if there is one thing that you will like the Nigerian people and Ondo State people to know Ondo State for, economy-wise, to improve the well-being and the economy of the state, what would that be, Governor Aiyedatiwa?
Thank you, Seun. You see, we cannot single out one thing per se, because we are going to touch every sector of the economy. But like you already said, Ondo State is known for agricultural produce, cocoa, for example. We are the largest producer of cocoa in Nigeria, and we are going to maintain that, and we are maintaining that lead already, because we are giving support to our farmers through Cocoa Revolution. What we are trying to do now is to also encourage the youth, because that is one area we have a comparative advantage, even if we are coming under regional integration with other South-West states in the area of agriculture. Cocoa, for example, we have good soil for cocoa production, and our weather is fantastic. So that we are leading in that among other states that are doing well in cocoa, but Ondo State is leading. So you can't take that away from us. It has been, all we need to do is to sustain it. Don't forget that sustainability is very important. It's still part of government function. Just for example, if roads were built in the past and you don't maintain such road, they will go bad. So sustainability, maintenance, you know, a lot of people don't see that most of the time, but it's a whole lot of job too for any government. So we sustain area where we are leading, and we look into other areas. For example, the Ondo Deep Sea Port Limited, that is one project that we are very passionate about, and we are, you know, deliberate about it, and we have to pursue it to ensure that that deep sea port will be built during my time. And we're already talking to international partners that are going to partner with us in any form of arrangement that we are going to agree upon later in the course of the year. We're already talking about that. When that come upstream, our bitumen that has been one of the second largest deposits in the world that require a seaport very close to it, we also come alive. Already we have some investors that has gotten license. Don't forget that is on the exclusive list of the federal government. The government issued license to some explorers, mineral explorers. Now they are to operate in Ondo State, in the southern senatorial area, to do exploration of bitumen. They have licenses, but they are waiting for the deep sea port. By the time that come upstream, definitely bitumen exploration is one thing Ondo State is going to be known for. We are also going to support that operation big time. Apart from other areas that we are also look at. We have the longest coastline, in Nigeria. We have fantastic beaches. We are also going to unlock the potential we have in tourism in the southern corridor. Don't forget also that the coastal highway the federal government is building coming from Lagos going to Calabar is also one other area we are looking at to develop. So all of these areas we talked, but most importantly, like I said, the deep sea port is one area that we're looking at because the late governor in the past administration, because the new administration have just started today, in the last administration, Governor Aiyedatiwa, SNCON, may so rest in peace, tried a lot to ensure that that port declaration was made. But we pursue it to ensure that the actual port is built during my time.
All right. Thank you so much, Governor Aiyedatiwa. We will hope that maybe at some point when you're rounding up your time as governor, we might come back to this interview in the next 4 years. But if there's one thing that we want the people of Ondo State to go to bed with tonight, in terms of their expectations and what, as a leader, leading the people of your state, what confidence should they be? What kind of words would you be churning out tonight that they should be looking forward to, what your administration will stand for? Just in 30 seconds to wrap up.
Yes, they already know who I am and who we are as a people, as a government. And these I also live with them that we continue to govern with integrity to ensure that the welfare of the people is top priority in our administration. Their safety is very important, creating an enabling environment for every resident and visitor of Ondo State to be able to unleash their potential for gainful enterprise.
Governor Lucky Orebisan Aiyedatiwa, rarely do I spell out people's middle name on television, but for some reasons, I do not only find an onomatopoeic relevance of your name, but you told me the other time the significance and the meaning of your name. So I found it interesting to say it because you say sometimes it's prophetic. So Governor Lucky Orebisan Aiyedatiwa, congratulations once again, and thank you so much for your time tonight on the program.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's shift our attention now to analyze some state of the nation matter. So President Bola Tinubu has said there will be census. This census might be different in one way. It says biometric and NIMSI, biometric capturing and all that will be part of the census that he has now set a committee to plan. But in all
their performance, and yes, once in a while we see all these criminal, having a caution once in a while. Kidnapping is not totally rid of the system. Once in a while we still experience such, but we go after them, and we have been having successes in our pursuit of all of these cause. And I think Amotekun is doing very well. Not just only Amotekun, I must say this, is in collaboration with other conventional security agencies. The other day, Amotekun with the military, the army, they have to go into a forest to comb the forest. And this is something we need to be doing regularly, because this is where all these criminals, this is where they hide, in our forest. So periodic combing is very important, Amotekun and other security agencies.
So no longer will you allow people to go into the forest in Ondo State. It's a no-go area to strangers or so-called aliens. That is going to stop. Is that what your government is saying?
No, it's not as if, yes, there are some forests, some area that that you don't go to really, but it's not as if we are stopping people from going to our forest. After all, there are resources in the forest. If you are going there for legitimate business, yes, why not? We profile you when you are coming to our territory. The kind of movement that we've noticed in some time past, where individuals will be loaded in trailer, in a truck, almost 150 individuals. Where are they coming from? Where are they going? What business are they going to do? With some with bikes, with motorbikes, they want to come and be doing a kind of business. And we begin to profile that you must have an address of where you want to go and stay. You can't go and be staying under the bridge or go and hide inside the forest. And then the next day you turn to a kidnapper to kidnap people and take them to the forest. So we are really securing our forest. We want to know who are there, whether we have some farmers there who are farming genuinely or genuine local hunters, because you can only hunt in the forest. So it's not as if the forest is totally closed up. Yes, but we need to know the activities in our forest, and we place close monitoring on that.
Let me quickly ask you, I know that you had meetings with your colleague governors in the Southwest, and you are talking about regional integration and collaboration. But I mean, one knows that Ondo State historically relies on agriculture and oil, but in what specific area? And the people of Ondo State will be wondering what Ondo will be known for under Aiyedatiwa. In what area would you like to establish Ondo State, not only for the local economy, but also for export? Years past, Ondo State is significant. There are cocoa production in Ondo State. What has become of that? Olua Glass and several other companies were renowned for their participation to the economy in years past. But if there is one thing that you will like the Nigerian people and Ondo State people to know Ondo State for, economy-wise, to improve the well-being and the economy of the state, what would that be, Governor Aiyedatiwa?
Thank you, Seun. You see, we cannot single out one thing per se, because we are going to touch every sector of the economy. But like you already said, Ondo State is known for agricultural produce, cocoa, for example. We are the largest producer of cocoa in Nigeria, and we are going to maintain that, and we are maintaining that lead already, because we are giving support to our farmers through Cocoa Revolution. What we are trying to do now is to also encourage the youth, because that is one area we have a comparative advantage, even if we are coming under regional integration with other South-West states in the area of agriculture. Cocoa, for example, we have good soil for cocoa production, and our weather is fantastic. So that we are leading in that among other states that are doing well in cocoa, but Ondo State is leading. So you can't take that away from us. It has been, all we need to do is to sustain it. Don't forget that sustainability is very important. It's still part of government function. Just for example, if roads were built in the past and you don't maintain such road, they will go bad. So sustainability, maintenance, you know, a lot of people don't see that most of the time, but it's a whole lot of job too for any government. So we sustain area where we are leading, and we look into other areas. For example, the Ondo Deep Sea Port Limited, that is one project that we are very passionate about, and we are, you know, deliberate about it, and we have to pursue it to ensure that that deep sea port will be built during my time. And we're already talking to international partners that are going to partner with us in any form of arrangement that we are going to agree upon later in the course of the year. We're already talking about that. When that come upstream, our bitumen that has been one of the second largest deposits in the world that require a seaport very close to it, we also come alive. Already we have some investors that has gotten license. Don't forget that is on the exclusive list of the federal government. The government issued license to some explorers, mineral explorers. Now they are to operate in Ondo State, in the southern senatorial area, to do exploration of bitumen. They have licenses, but they are waiting for the deep sea port. By the time that come upstream, definitely bitumen exploration is one thing Ondo State is going to be known for. We are also going to support that operation big time. Apart from other areas that we are also look at. We have the longest coastline, in Nigeria. We have fantastic beaches. We are also going to unlock the potential we have in tourism in the southern corridor. Don't forget also that the coastal highway the federal government is building coming from Lagos going to Calabar is also one other area we are looking at to develop. So all of these areas we talked, but most importantly, like I said, the deep sea port is one area that we're looking at because the late governor in the past administration, because the new administration have just started today, in the last administration, Governor Aiyedatiwa, SNCON, may so rest in peace, tried a lot to ensure that that port declaration was made. But we pursue it to ensure that the actual port is built during my time.
All right. Thank you so much, Governor Aiyedatiwa. We will hope that maybe at some point when you're rounding up your time as governor, we might come back to this interview in the next 4 years. But if there's one thing that we want the people of Ondo State to go to bed with tonight, in terms of their expectations and what, as a leader, leading the people of your state, what confidence should they be? What kind of words would you be churning out tonight that they should be looking forward to, what your administration will stand for? Just in 30 seconds to wrap up.
Yes, they already know who I am and who we are as a people, as a government. And these I also live with them that we continue to govern with integrity to ensure that the welfare of the people is top priority in our administration. Their safety is very important, creating an enabling environment for every resident and visitor of Ondo State to be able to unleash their potential for gainful enterprise.
Governor Lucky Orebisan Aiyedatiwa, rarely do I spell out people's middle name on television, but for some reasons, I do not only find an onomatopoeic relevance of your name, but you told me the other time the significance and the meaning of your name. So I found it interesting to say it because you say sometimes it's prophetic. So Governor Lucky Orebisan Aiyedatiwa, congratulations once again, and thank you so much for your time tonight on the program.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's shift our attention now to analyze some state of the nation matter. So President Bola Tinubu has said there will be census. This census might be different in one way. It says biometric and NIMSI, biometric capturing and all that will be part of the census that he has now set a committee to plan. But in all of this, there are measures and parameters for which we can measure, we can gauge what the president and his team are doing. How well have they done? Look at the budget. How well have they performed on those budgets? Let's break some issues down for you tonight. I'm being joined by policy, data, and political analyst, Mr. Kolawale Johnson is live for us here in our studio. It's a pleasure having you tonight. Join us. Interestingly, you are also from Ondo State.
You know that I just talked.
You are from the river, right? Isn't it?
That the governor was coming.
I didn't know. I mean, when I invited you last week, you were not able to come. And we planned today. It was coincidence.
It's okay. I congratulate him too.
All right.
And I know that the state is expecting much. Yeah. Honestly.
All right. Let's talk about the state of the federal government. And I will begin with the news of the president planning a census. How significant? Can we afford a census?
Affordability, it's, one. But then, do we need census data? It's another. So you weigh your options. If you look, of course, you know that you need data in planning. And without adequate data, you can't even churn out a sound policy instrument that would drive development, in the country. So, for me, if we're looking at the cost, we may not do the needful. Last year, some of us said no, that the country was not ripe, was not good enough in terms of our standing financially for the census. Why? Because we're having so many things, to do at once. But I think now, we may not be able to say that the states do not need census at this point, considering the fact that you need those data to plan effectively and to ensure that development cut across the entire region, not just the region, also in terms of demographics. You know how to plan for the different demographics in your population. So census is needed. We should also talk about the corruption process in procurement, in our procurement process, because a lot of the things that we do for such an exorbitant, cost, they don't cost as much. The same thing that you would do here for example, for ₦1 million, you get to the government agencies, the same thing could be done for 10 million naira. So which shows clearly that it's not about these activities, it's about how much we invest into them. So if we can have those structural reforms to ensure that we get value for money, to ensure that we have a sound procurement process, I think we won't be talking about the cost of census, because we'll be talking about the importance of census. Sure.
Yeah, census data important.
Oh, yeah.
But the manner, the approach, the processes that will lead to that census, and those, when people say, look, the amount that is going into it, can we?
The amount, do you know what goes into our election every 4 years? Do you have an idea? So why don't we see, I went for a course, I did a course with the London School of Economics last year on public policy. And my perception changed on analyzing public policy. You sit down and you look at the pros and the cons. You need to make decision. If this is what you need, despite the cost.
Is the census needed?
It's needed.
How urgently do we need it?
Of course. It depends on how urgent.
What is the frequency of us having to?
It is there. It is there. It is there in our constitution. Now, you have countries who can tell you their data. I was arguing somewhere else. I was doing a presentation somewhere with a professor, and I was saying that the population of Nigeria was about 240 million, and he said I should substantiate that. Who told me that? Now, we were on that, and I got stuck at that very point because we don't have that data to say this is the population of Nigeria. Now, if you want to microzone any research work in Nigeria today, say to a region, you can't even tell the population of that region. If you're picking a certain demography in Nigeria today, maybe youth from age 20 to 40, to make some plans for them, you don't even know the number that they are. You can maybe you can look at the schools and get the population of schools and tell, some age range. But I can tell you that the actual data you need for proper planning, you need them through census. But again, we need to also interrogate the process. Are we actually going to get this data in the usual way that we've, conducted our census before now?
The president said this time around, NIMC, the National Identity Management Commission, must be part of the review. That means biometric and some digital measures have to also be. Before now, if you were part of if you were in the country in 2006, we know how the census were conducted and how the house counting and all that happened. But this time around, it does look like the president wants something that is more digital, isn't it?
Is it about what the president, if success would depend on the president's pronouncement, then we can at least go to sleep. But that human factors are there. Then interest come. A lot of interest will go into census process. Not just that, the identity. Now you take, for example, you get to a state where they tell you, or you get to a locality where they tell you that there are, let's say, 30,000. And by the number of houses you can count that they are not up to that. But the people from that domain they will want to do everything possible to ensure that that number is not tampered with. Rather, they want to increase it. So how do you treat those people? It is happening in an electoral process. We have said before now that if you don't have, without the biometric, you can't vote. Haven't you been seeing votes coming from different places without that process? You've seen that, right?
Let's scrutinize the budget performance. Yeah. What do you make? Looking at 2024 budget, and does it inspire you as to whatever figures or the inspiration in the 2025 budget?
Sure. I think the last time I was here, we talked about regional development, and I said it was a welcome development, provided we're able to establish the proper philosophies behind them. And I also said that if we are able to run it effectively, we'll be having better budget performances, not overall, because this is part of what you're taking from the chunk of the budget. Take, for example, if you have Southeast Development Commission, where practically everybody running the commission are from the Southeast. Now, people are owning their development, so you may start seeing proper budget performances, maybe across board. But for what you have some head of agency. Didn't you hear last week of a head of parastatal, with the kind of humongous amount said to have been taken away by him? So you have people sitting on different agencies, and they see it as the share of their own national cake. Largely, they all come there to take and not to deliver services. So unfortunately, that is affecting the budget performance. And a lot of times, when you see budget, take for example, if you have ₦1 million budgeted somewhere, and for recurrent expenditure, you have say 400,000 naira, then for capital expenditure, you have 600,000 naira. At the end of the day, your recurrent will perform, say, 90%. Then your capital would have performed maybe 35% or say 25%. By the time they put it together, they will tell you that the budget has performed, say, 60%. But a lot of times it is not true. It is because we do more on the recurrent and we do less on the capital. So looking at 2024 budget, I think we'll be hoping for a better improvement this year so that it can translate to better life for the people.
So now you mentioned an agency of government, and I understand that some federal lawmakers are already raising eyebrow about it was alleged that the Nigerian Content Board, NCDMB, there were allegations of about 7 billion naira spent on consultancy, over 580 million naira on 5-day London training, logistic allowances. These are just a few of the list of allegations we document that are now made available, and hoping that, under this government, this kind of allegation will be for an agency of government. And if you look at the Constitution or the laws guiding the activities of such an agency, it will take a board or the Fed to approve such an amount for spending. 7 billion naira allegedly spent on consultancy. And this is alleged to have happened. And it does look like nothing is happening.
Sure. I don't know. I'm trying to avoid some things tonight. I don't want to, ruffle feathers so much, but I'm struggling here. Nigeria today is dining with poverty, with over 40% in multi-dimensional poverty. I think, about 72% in the rural area, then 63% generally. Largely because we have a pandemic within the system. It is corruption. When the president brought the reform 2023, I said two things, if I remember. I said, without reforming the structure of governance, we will likely not be able to have the gains of those policies because the money you are saving will be going into a private pocket. And so that policy clearly provided more money for people to steal. That is why you're seeing such an amount being taken by a single person. Consultants is 7 billion. I'm a chartered consultant. And I don't know how much they pay that you'll be able to pay for consultancy 7 billion naira in how long?
If these are mere allegations, I'm hoping that, anybody can stand up and allege anything.
Okay, now let me tell you, I said I was avoiding some few things. In December, somebody who is very known in the media space, for throwing a lot of this, sent me some document about this man. I said I should please confirm some of these things were there. It's not just somebody just rising up something.
And the documents that are in the public domain now are much of details. We show that there is an insider whistleblowing and exposure of what is happening. My worry is why, if this is in the public domain, it does look like nothing is happening.
Now, that is one thing I kept, I have said this a lot of times.
7 billion allegedly spent on consultancy.
If you do not have a system that will give consequences to actions, you're only strengthening it to keep happening. Take, for example, if a little boy steals here and you rob his head, now tomorrow is going to steal bigger until we start ensuring that people face the consequences of their actions in the public space. See, let me share this with you. Somebody told me some time ago that all this noise you are making, you will make noise, nothing will happen. I will only keep more for the people you are reporting to. It was painful, Sheon. Oh yeah, to my very face, not behind me anyway. Of course. So it is painful when you know that people think they can steal and get away with it and nothing will happen. Now, I said this before, that this government has not given us the policy direction, or they've not shown that action in fighting corruption. EFCC is, different now a bit. The head of the place is like fighting that technically. I think for me, I rate him very high. But again, he has found himself amidst a lot of political intrigues that he can hardly navigate through to do his job properly, unfortunately.
This is where, on this matter, I want to drag you into. You've been dragged into that matter. You've been very close into the National Assembly matter.
Is it on? What's no. Okay, let me tell you
I'll take you to the matter of what happened in the National Assembly. And they say what goes around comes around.
Oh, yeah.
The issue between the Senate President and Senator Natasha Akpoti and Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan and the altercation, and the senator there saying, I'm not afraid of you. You will not silence me. And there are those who say, oh, this is not a first senator that is aggrieved with the manner in which they are being treated on the floor by the Senate President. Let me allow you to just give us about 60 seconds of analysis or your view on what went on in the National Assembly.
I read a report somewhere where they said the Senate has summoned a certain media house, for granting Senator Natasha interview on the subject matter. I think it was Charles, was it George Orwell that said that journalism is printing what someone else does not want in the print.
Yeah.
And he said every other thing is public relations.
Yeah.
So the politicians of today, they want to see you do more of public relations for them rather than doing your job. A lot of the things that, of course, you can't hear many of the things that, can I say, go down, that you see daily happening at the National Assembly. A lot of things are censored. So these grumblings are not new. But unfortunately, it is happening to a woman that was welcomed with a very large open arms when she got to the Senate, unfortunately. So something must have happened in between them. And for that to degenerate to this level, I think there must be some things in between that we must interrogate further. Now, the senator seems not to be having a good deal with women lately. Will that be anything official or personal? We'll leave that to him to solve by himself. Now, before I go, I think I'd like to talk directly, to wish the governor, the very best in his time. Yeah. But I must also confess that people are looking forward to have more, from him. Of course, we're looking at data last week on some things that we were submitting, and the state has had access, since he got there, between that time and now, maybe over 500 billion naira, of course, accessed, by him. So I think going forward, we should be able to deliver much more in the state.
Kalawale Johnson is a data, policy, and political analyst. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank
As
you,
always, it's a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure too.
That's our show for tonight. Many thanks everyone for watching. I'm sure Kimale